If you have ADHD and RSD, your relationships have a pattern, and the pattern is not random. It is not bad luck. It is not because you are fundamentally unlovable or impossible to be with. It is because your nervous system was never taught that connection was safe. Here is how the pattern usually goes. You meet someone and you feel an intensity of connection that is electric. ADHD brains fall fast and fall hard. The hyper-focus that makes it impossible to start your taxes makes it very easy to become completely consumed by a new relationship. You are all in. You are attentive, creative, generous, and fully present in a way that feels magnetic to the people you love. And then something shifts. Maybe they cancel plans, maybe their text responses get shorter. Maybe you sense a change in their energy that you cannot name but cannot ignore. And your RSD brain does what it always does. It writes the worst possible story. They are pulling away, they are losing interest, they are about to leave. So you do one of two things. You either pursue harder, more text, more checking in, more attempts to reconnect, until the other person feels suffocated. Or you pull back completely, that putting up walls before they can hurt you, going cold in a way that confuses and wounds the people who are never going anywhere. Both responses come from the same place. Terror of rejection. Terror so physical and immediate that it overrides logic, overrides love, overrides everything you actually want. The people on the other side of this don't understand what is happening. They experience someone who is warm and present suddenly becoming distant and defensive, or someone who seems secure becoming anxious and clingy. They don't see the RSD, they just see the behavior, and they pull back, which makes the RSD worse, which makes the behavior more extreme. This is the cycle, and it repeats until something breaks, usually the relationship. Here's what makes this even more complicated. Many people with ADHD and RSD have been in this cycle so many times that they stop trusting their own perceptions entirely. They can't tell anymore what is real anxiety and what is RSD misfiring. They second-guess every feeling. They apologize for emotions before they've even expressed them. They become so focused on managing the other person's reaction that they lose access to their own needs. That is not a relationship. That is a nervous system on permanent red alert, dressed up as a relationship. Here is what changes when you understand RSD. First, you stop taking the worst story as fact. You learn to create a pause between the trigger and the response. Not to suppress the feeling, you cannot suppress RSD, but to delay acting on it until you can assess whether the story your brain wrote is actually true. Second, you learn to communicate what is happening. Not every partner will understand, but the ones who do, who can hear my RSD is activated right now and I need reassurance without judgment. Those are the relationships worth fighting for. Third, you start to recognize the pattern before it runs its full course. And recognition is the beginning of everything. RSD does not have to define your relationships, but ignoring it will. Now here is something that almost every person with RSD is also dealing with simultaneously, and that makes everything harder to untangle. ADHD and anxiety share so many symptoms that most people cannot tell which one is driving on any given day. And if you are treating the wrong one, nothing improves. That is next.